Spring is here and the market's heating up, but will that continue through 2025? Will all of the outside noise and economic turmoil affect our real estate market here locally? We're going to break down the numbers and cover everything in this month's Market Trends Update. Like every other month, we're going to give you the information you need to make educated decisions, whether you're looking at buying or selling your home here in the Colorado Front Range. Hi, I'm Kevin Shoemaker with eXp Realty, and I'm your go-to real estate agent when it comes to Colorado real estate. And we want to make sure you're well equipped to make those decisions. First of all, I want to make sure you know that we included a link down below to our resource guide. That gives you all the information you need to know when it comes to everything in Northern Colorado, whether that's some of our favorite restaurants, whether that's the local hardware stores, whether that's knowing some of the different summer activities, the festivals, all of the different things you need to know about Northern Colorado. Additionally, we have a link to our home evaluation page. A lot of our clients are wondering, how has the market affected our home value? Click the link, and a couple of clicks, you'll be able to get an updated value on what your home would sell for in today's market. And then also, we gave you a link to our buyer dashboard, and in that dashboard, that allows you to search all the homes on the market currently available here in Northern Colorado also. And that's linked right to our MLS, so it's a backstage pass to give you a backstage look and sneak peek at all of the inventory. And so you can do your search directly there and send us a message with any questions. So with further ado, let's jump in and take a look at some of the markets, some of the updates that we have for you. So one of the things we're seeing is a record percentage of people that are planning to buy a home this year. When we look at the national statistics, it's saying that there's 15% of all consumers are looking at making a purchase this year in 2025. That number is up, obviously, as you can see, over the last couple of years. We believe a lot of it's the pent-up demand. When you look at prior to the election, in the last 12, 18 months, with rates went up, and then everyone was speculating that rates are going to come down. Are we going to see the rates in the 4s? We didn't see them in the 5s. Well, what we do know, and we'll talk about a little bit in just a few minutes when we dive into the interest rates a little bit more, is we do know the rates are going to come down, but they're not going to come down near as fast as what they once thought. So we're seeing a lot of people with that pent-up demand of consumers that have wanted to move, but they didn't have to move. So now we're seeing what we are seeing is that we know that rates aren't going to come down for probably significantly for probably another 12, if not 24 months. So we're seeing people that are making that move and trying to make different adjustments, whether that's looking at interest rate buydowns, 2-1 buydowns, some of the different creative ways to get their payments and where it's a little bit more affordable. Additionally, when we look at home prices are growing at more of a normal pace. In 2020 and 2022, we had significant increase in prices and in values. And then obviously with COVID, things went flat and even dropped significantly, went flat, and then we started to see prices climb. Now we're again seeing normalcy, and we're starting to see those prices flatten out a little bit. You're going to have, on average here in the Front Range, you're going to see somewhere between 3 to 5% appreciation is what we're anticipating. Now, when you look at the home price here locally, and you look at some of the changes just over the month in the last year over 2024, you can see we had some little price bumps, but in general, everything's been relatively flat, and we continue to anticipate that that's what it's going to be through 2025. Now, home price appreciation is definitely going to vary regionally. You're going to have some different pockets where you're going to have more appreciation than others. Some of the different areas in the west, in the north central, and even the south central have had some negative impact. Some of it's due to employment, and then when you go out east, we've seen a little bit more appreciation. But the Mountain West region, is actually probably one of the stronger markets right now. And I think a lot of it is we live in a beautiful area. It's very desirable, and a lot of people, like, if we could live anywhere, where would we live? We don't have hurricanes and we don't have earthquakes. We hear that quite often from a lot of our clients. When we look at year-over-year appreciation in some of the top metro districts, metro areas, you'll see that in some of the areas in the East Coast, you're seeing 4, 5, and even 6% appreciation. And then you look at even some of the areas in the West Coast, San Diego, and also in San Francisco, you're starting seeing anywhere from 3 to 4 and 5% appreciation. So a lot of little pockets, especially in some of the larger booming metro districts. Rate of inflation. When you look at inflation, inflation has a direct relation to our interest rates. And last month in February, we actually had 2.6% inflation rate. And that was the lowest we've seen in the last 4 years. So they anticipate that that's going to come down. But now with some of the tariffs and some of the different things changing, we may see a bump up. But then they believe that we're going to continue to see that slowly move down. And when that does happen, we're going to see an impact in interest rates. But they think, again, that's going to be a much slower process than once anticipated. When we look at mortgage rates, they have declined. Last month, we had definitely a drop, one of the lowest points we've had in the last couple of years. We do believe that that's going to flatten out a little bit, but we are under 7%. I would say on average, we're running in that 6.5, 6.6, 6.65 range. And here you'll see rates are actually declining a little faster than what they anticipated. We're at 6.7 now. They anticipate we're going to get to 6.53 at year end. So again, finish out in that 6.5 range. 2026, will we get below 6%? There's so many variables and so many unknowns in the market right now that it's really hard to say when that's going to hit. When we look at interest rates, rates definitely do affect your buying power. That's why when you look at here in this chart, if you look at the difference of 7% dropping down to 6%, that 1% drop can save you anywhere from $100 to even $200 a month, depending on your price point. So many of the sellers that are motivated, we're starting to see them offer a 2-1 buy down, which is buying your interest rate down. So you buy your interest rate down 2% the first year, 1% the second year, and then it's fixed the remaining 28 years. And then another thing is you can do a permanent rate buy down. So a lot of different options that we can share with you and connect you with our preferred lender also to give you some additional information and options. Now, diving into the local numbers. This year we identify the top 3 cities here in Northern Colorado: Fort Collins, Loveland, and Greeley. And the blue line represents Fort Collins with 500 and with a average median sales price of $532,500. And then when you look at Loveland, we're at $512,000, and then Greeley is sitting in that $445,000 range. So we've definitely seen we have our, as we always talk about, our seasonality curve. We see with our prices, we'll typically see the values peak in July and then tend to soften a little bit as we get into the fourth quarter. Here, when you look at under contracts are really the pulse. This tells you the pulse of the market, what's happening. And you can see here is that things are starting to pick up because we're in that spring market. We're now, as we're in March, we're starting to see that the temperatures are starting to really heat up a little bit. So you're going to start seeing things green up, and we're going to continue to see the volume increase. So things did definitely slow down a little bit over the holidays, also with the election. So again, you're seeing the peaks and the valleys. Here we have inventory of homes. So again, pretty typical. Third, fourth quarter, we start to see the increase in the volume of inventory. And then we started to see it go down a little bit for fourth quarter in January, February. And now we're starting to see the inventory pick up a little bit more with the spring market. We typically will see that volume continue to increase up June and July. As one, we have a lot of builders that are ramping up their new construction inventory in anticipation that the market's going to continue to be strong and vibrant, as well as we have a lot of homeowners that are looking to get their home on the market this spring or shortly thereafter when the kids are out of school. Closed sales. This is the volume. This is volume. So this is showing you what has actually closed. So you look at 2020, 2022, 23, and 24. Again, you have the peaks in volume, which is going to be second to third quarter, and then you're going to have the drops, which is going to be right between fourth and first quarter. So it's all pretty consistent. As you can see, our numbers are still down from what they were We're looking at Fort Collins, 201 homes sold last month, 190 in Loveland, and 175 in the Greeley market. Here, median days on the market, we're starting to see, again, average days on the market go up. We're ranging somewhere in that 60 to 68 days on market range is where we've been seeing on average. This last month we've dropped and we're sitting in the high 50s, 56, 57, 58 days, average days on market. We anticipate that that's going to come down a little bit more. What we are seeing is those that are listing their home, pricing it right, and it's in good condition, those homes are selling quickly. Those that are speculating and trying to get top market and nothing unique with the home, those homes are sitting a bit. And if you don't get an offer within that first 30 to 40 days, you're going to start to see buyers wanting to negotiate. And typically, we're seeing them trying to negotiate 2 to even 3%. Here we have the list to sales price ratio. This is a really important number because this lets you know sort of what are sellers getting on average. And right now they're getting somewhere in that 98.6 to 98.3%, meaning they're getting within 2% of what their ask price is. Now, again, you're always going to have the when you look at new construction, it's common that builders are getting full price in general. Some of the inventory that's sitting, they are getting a little aggressive and they're offering buy downs, they're offering some free upgrades, appliances, window treatments, and so forth. So there are definitely some opportunities with existing inventory, but as we go into the spring market, most of the inventory is going to be bought up and we're going to see new inventory hit the market. As far as resales, again, in general, if it's priced right, we're seeing the homes go under contract within the first couple of weeks. But those that are overpriced, they're sitting on the market, and they are on the market for 40, 50, 60, even 70 days with multiple price reductions. And we've definitely seen an uptick in an increase in price reductions on some of that inventory as well. So as always, we want to make sure that you have the data and you have the numbers that you need to make educated decisions. We always take the position of we want to be able to inform you of the market. We want to be able to inform you of the best areas, the best neighborhoods for you, and where you want to live with your family. No different than if you're selling your home. You want to know what's your competition, what are other people looking at, and how can we price our home. And what features and upgrades can we maybe do to our home to net the most amount of money? So if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to myself and our team. You can always reach me on you can call or text my cell phone, 970-396-7248. You can also go ahead and drop me an email. Go to kevinsellsco.com for any of your real estate needs. And as always, we're here to help you, and we'll be in touch and talk to you next month as well.